Good morning, Blackfire. You are first. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Oh, that's weird. Did they take away pinned messages on YouTube? I have Steven live, especially. What can I say except I'm somehow the first again? You are the first again. Good to see you, Cole. How are you? Huh. Why can't I? Good morning, Voltaire. Good to see you guys. Am I going to start camping to get here first? I think so. Blackfire's on it lately. Blackfire is on it. There we go. Pin. Good morning, Command Bar. Good to see you. How is it? How goes life? Hope it's treating you well. I got second place in a math tournament. That's awesome, dude. I don't think I've ever been in a math tournament. So that's that's fantastic, dude. Way to go, man. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, Voltaire, you gifted a sub? That's way too kind, man. Thank you very much for doing that. I really need to set up an alert for that, and I keep forgetting. And I probably keep forgetting because I don't have it wrote down anywhere. Well, hold on. First, let me see if SpeakerBot does. I'm guessing it has a. Let's see. Oh, yeah, they have a gifted subscription alert. Yeah, so I just need to wire one up. That's my bad. Set up Twitch gifted subscriber alert. Let's see. Homework. All right, I'll remember now. I'll remember. We actually need two terminals now, so we need one to be able to run our commands, and then we need one that's going to just be for running Aspire. Aspire. There we go. Good morning, Clay. Long time no see, man. Ilmanian, good to see you. That was the first gifted sub since I watched Steven. Well, Voltaire gifted a sub yesterday, I think, too. Actually, we should probably let's see, let's add him to the list, yeah? So we'll do .NET Twitch subscribers. And then we have to go over to Melt Studio real quick. I'm gonna disappear into the void, but I promise I will be right back. There we go. Cool. Alright, I don't even remember where we left off. I think yesterday we were looking at the login page and we got part of the way there on the design, but not quite all the way there on the design. If I remember right. Yep. Okay. So I think what we said yesterday was we didn't like the fact that the background was so dark, so we need to fix that. We also need to fix the input styles. Let's see, we need to go to source, asset, CSS, reset. Go down here, we'll do color, inherit. That looks much better. We also need validation. I mean, I guess we could just have this be our validation. For now, we could come back but we really should have some client side validation. It's honestly, that's honestly the worst part about building a separate front end and a separate back end is you really do end up duplicating a lot of validation logic with having a client rendered application. It's kind of annoying. Good morning, Chrome Demise. Good to see you. See you, buddy, and have a good day. It's good, Chrome Demise. It's been a minute since I've seen you around my stream. I hope life's treating you well. Let's see, log views, login views. Okay, I'm just going to leave that alone for now. Let's see if we can't work a little bit on the logged in view. Whoops. Okay, so this is our home view right now, but I think what we're going to end up rocking is a sidebar. Yeah, I don't know. What's a good layout these days? Let's see what Gemini has to say. I'm trying to design the main layout for my web app. What is a good layout in 2026? I've always done something with either a top navigation or a collapsible sidebar on the left or right. Is there any new take on this type of layout that I am not aware of? Crowdemize, yeah, just been busy with mini projects, nothing too crazy, just time consuming. Well, that's great, man. I'm happy for you. I would love for you guys to not be here because you're busy doing shit, you know? That's awesome. I feel like a good layout is a modular one. You can move parts and snap them around on the screen. That sounds hard to implement. I've never implemented anything like that before. That sounds tough. I think that's more than I want to bite off. I'll probably just end up with a sidebar, but I'm just curious. Contextual floating island. Instead of permanently sacrificing the top or left edge of the screen, modern apps use floating islands or dynamic pills. These often sit at the bottom of the screen or float directly near the active workspace, expanding to reveal navigation options for something like a stream commands page. Command palettes is primary navigation. Command palettes. I like the idea of command palettes, but my wife won't understand that. That won't make sense to her. Spatial, liquid layouts. Rigid layouts are being replaced by fluid spatial interfaces. Panels slide over one another like physical sheets rather than sitting in fixed carved out columns. This works exceptionally well for a minimalistic notepad application where the UI needs to step. I kind of like, have you guys seen, I kind of like the idea of the floating pill. That's kind of a cool idea. I don't know if you guys have seen GitHub's, let me see if I can find it. GitHub kind of has an interesting version of this where, like, the left nav, when you scroll, it collapses, right? So, like, you can expand it. So, see, there's the nav bar fully expanded. And then when you scroll, it shrinks, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. It's kind of an interesting nav bar. Good morning, Artwork Studios. Good to see you. You should probably ask for a prototype of any UI style you've never seen. I don't know if it does that. I think it can generate the code, but it can't render it, and I'm not gonna copy and paste a bunch of code everywhere. Let's see. I made a game with one of my friends and Arvin as playtesters. That's awesome, Artwork Studios. That sounds like a blast. Yusuf, dude, I started using WSL. Do you recommend me getting a MacBook? That's what companies nowadays give, so I be fully functional. I don't think you need a MacBook in order to be a developer to be functional. WSL is great. I use Windows personally. I have WSL, but I only really use it for supporting Docker Desktop. So I'm perfectly content being on a Windows machine myself. I just think so I'm not going to tell you need to get a MacBook. If you want to get a MacBook, go for it. I find MacBooks horribly expensive. Also, someone made a YouTube video on said game. Well, that's really exciting, Artwork Studios. Very cool, man. I use WSL for C and C++. Nice, nice. What do you think about Linux, Steven, or any other OS? I think Linux is fine. I think Windows is fine. I think Mac OS is fine. I've used them all. On the Linux side, though, I've only used Ubuntu Desktop, so I haven't really tried all the different Linux distributions, but I have used a Linux distribution. And I use Ubuntu Server for all my hosting needs. See Artwork Studios, have a good dinner, man. Thanks for stopping by the stream and saying hi. It's very kind of you. C on Windows can be a bit stingy otherwise. Interesting. I've never written any C in my life, so I would not know. So I will happily take your word for it. I use a Windows 11 Elite book, but it's quite good. Nice. Yeah, I've never owned an Elite book, but I do work on a Windows 11 machine, and I do not mind it. Hi, good evening. Big headache with WSL's networking stuff. Apart from that, it's cool. Yeah, like I said, I haven't really done much with WSL besides using it to support Docker Desktop, and occasionally I'll use it to test some things, you know. But 9 times out of 10, if I want to do something on the Linux side of the house, I just SSH into one of my servers. Buffer, have you used a TRPC? I have not. I've heard of it, but never used it. Yep, never used it. Isn't this is part of the T3 stack, right? That's this is part of that stack, right? Yeah, I've never used TRPC. I mean, I know TRPC is a separate thing, but the first time I heard about TRPC was because I saw somebody using the T3 stack to build applications, but I've never used it myself. Steven is still in the Windows phase. It's in 6 months he will be on Arch wearing an Arch by the way t-shirt. I don't know, dude. I gotta figure out how to get some money together to buy a new laptop before I make my Linux arc happen. Good morning, Lorenz. Good to see you. For my part, I don't like the design of MacBooks because they look like the typical business laptop. Really? You think MacBooks look like the typical business laptop? That's surprising. I always think of Lenovo ThinkPads as being the typical business laptop. I've never owned an HP Victus. Never owned one of those. Ubuntu, that's my favorite. It's very easy to use, honestly, and a good package manager. Install Beautiful Soup and stuff like that. Magical stuff for real. Well, that's good. I'm glad I've got people who enjoy Ubuntu. I usually get made fun of because the only Linux distro I've used is Ubuntu, but happy to know some other people like it. Buffer. It's really cool for solo dev. Nice. No, it's a separate lib. Yeah, so I knew it was separate. I just the first time I had heard about TRPC was in the context of the T3 stack. Okay, so I think it depends on how ambitious I want to be with this navigation, and I'm not feeling very ambitious at the moment. So I think we're just gonna go to what I know. So let's go to, let's see, layouts, or no, components. Let's actually put this in a layouts folder. We don't need to start nesting stuff yet. I guess we have a protected layout, which looks like that. And we have a public layout that looks like that. So let's do protected. Oops. And then we'll do an aside. I'll just do a classic left nav. Actually, let's do right nav. Let's just be crazy. And then obviously this is just going to have a bunch of sidebar content. We probably need a wrapper for this. Let's see. Ilmanian, feel free to lurk away. Bro, I'm gonna dip. Got some research to do. I hope your UI comes out clean. Nice, thanks, dude. Have a good day, man. Appreciate you coming by and saying hi. So we need the same approach here. Only this is gonna be display flex. Flex direction is gonna be a column. That, and then I'm gonna do border 1 pixel solid red. And we're gonna go to our router. Okay, why is that not working? We have a router view. Oh, that's because this needs to become children. This needs to become an array. Complex objects. It's not public path. There we go. Okay, that looks obviously ugly. So the main space should take out whatever is remaining based on the sidebar. So the main space should have a flex of 1. Yep, and then we're going to want to set some sort of fixed width on the aside. And I don't know what that will be, but we're going to figure it out. What's up, Clay? The learning of assembly is going well? Well, I'm glad for you, Blackfire. I'm glad for you. I'm slowly understanding more and more how to code my bootloader. Nice, nice. You're down there in the deep bowels of the computer world. I'm up here at the high level. I'm currently working on a game. Do you recommend using AI? You can use AI if you want to. You know, I personally have stopped using AI much to code. I definitely use AI to ask questions and get ideas and explore implementations and stuff, but I've kind of walked away from using AI to code at the moment, at least. But that doesn't mean you have to, right? Like I'm never gonna judge your use of AI. If that gets you excited to code and you enjoy it and it makes your life better, all the more power to you. all the more power to you. All right, let's do a sidebar width of 250. So let's do width 250 pixels. And I think what I want to have happen is I think I want the nav bar. Let's see. So I think I want the nav bar to be positioned absolutely when the screen gets below a certain width, so that it basically it almost that way it almost acts like a drawer whenever the screen is too small. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And we need a button to like be able to collapse it too. So we got width 250. We've got our border. We're not going to keep the border. Let's see. This probably is going to end up needing a z index, like a really high z index. So it always is on top. David Bailey, how would you best describe an entity? Are you talking about in the context of like a database, David? That's how I'll answer you. I guess in the context of a database, I always think of an entity as something that has an ID, something that has a unique ID. If it needs to have a unique identity, a unique ID, then it's probably an entity. Good morning. Good morning. Danny, hey, what's up, Danny? Missed a few sessions? No worry at all, Danny. We all got lives, man. I hope life's going well for you. Glad to see you here this morning. What library he's using? I am using Vue and React. Make a prototype in Figma first. That's just not something I typically do on my projects. Unknown Wasabi. By the time I spent all the time to make a prototype in Figma and then work through the implementation, I could have just worked through the design while implementing it. So I don't really do that. In that context, an instance of a class, yes, you could also say that as well. But there are things in your code that are instances of classes or instances of records or whatever structs that don't necessarily need to have a unique identity, right? Those would be things that I think in domain-driven design they'd call value objects, right? They don't really need to have their own separate table in the database. I guess that's typically what I think of as an entity, is something that I need to persist into the database that needs to have a unique, persistent identity over time. That's typically what I'll classify as an entity myself. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but but it is. All right, so let's try to put a button in here. Let's see, let's put a toggle button. Toggle button. And what do we want to call this? I'm gonna put chat over here for a second. I guess let's give it a position. Position absolute. Let's do top 3 rem. Let's make this position relative. And let's put the button in there. Class equals toggle button. And let's just do an emoji for now. Arrow. Okay. And now we need to position this to the left a little bit. Chad CN. No, I'm not using Chad CN. I'm just building my own components. Unknown Wasabi, responsive always. Yes, I think building things responsively is a good practice. I will agree with you there. 100%. All right, so let's do let's see, sidebar width 250 pixels. Actually, what's 250 pixels in rims? Let's do that calculation real quick. 250 divided by 16. 15,625. 15.625. Okay. And then we're gonna do height is going to be 16 plus 6, no, 16 plus 8, so 1.5 rim. Okay, what did I mess up here? We've got sidebar width. Oh, does this need to be up higher? Sidebar width var. Oh, rim. It would help if I apply the units properly. Okay, and then let's do, let's actually put the button here too. See, button size is 1.5 rim. That. And then I want it to basically, I know this is going to sound odd, but what I'm looking for is I want this button to sit right on the dividing line of the two things. I want it to be half left, half right. So let's also make the sidebar background color. Let's do brand, or no, BG. I think we call it BG surface. That's what we called that variable. Yeah, I'm still not in love with the colors, so don't come at me yet about the colors, because I'm not totally in love with them, but that's where we are. Let's see, and then we're gonna do, let's see, we want left equals calc, and we're gonna say, what are we gonna say? We're basically gonna say we want to move this, let's go off 1 pixel. Let's go, or hold on, let's invert it. Let's do var button size divided by 2. See what that looks like. Yep, that's what we want. Display flex just by content. Are you just putting random CSS into the chat right now? You just put random CSS in there? You do you, man. You do you. A new lot has changed, but you are still my fave. Oh, that's so kind. I don't think I'm anybody's favorite anything. John Grimmers, hey Steven, can you tell me the best way to make my site look good for all devices on mobile? It's the hardest, dude. It's the hardest thing. It really is. If it was me, what I would probably do is I'd probably start all the design work thinking mobile first. So don't don't lay out your site anticipating it's going to be viewed on a desktop. So do mobile first design and then do the desktop design. Um, a lot of times people will do the opposite where they'll like style the site so that it looks good on a mobile or on a website or a desktop, sorry. And then they'll go back in and try to add a bunch of media queries to, or they'll add a bunch of display flex wrap properties to make it relay itself out on mobile. And I think probably the inverse makes more sense. The problem is obviously there are so many different screens, right? Even just like with my two phones, there's just so many different screen sizes that you're gonna have to pay attention a lot to like the typography. So you're probably gonna need some responsiveness to the size of your text, which is a whole thing. I mean, people teach like master classes in responsive design, so there's definitely more knowledgeable folks out there than me, you know. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Okay, let's get an SVG for our collapse button. Let's go to font awesome. Would I rather work on front end or back end? I think if I had to pick one for the rest of my life, it would probably be back end. But I do enjoy getting to work on the front end. Like I think it's very um, I think it's very engaging to be able to make changes and see them visually show up in front of you. You know, like I think there's something that's very there's a really tight feedback loop that happens um, with front end work. I don't think I'd want to have to design my own front ends, but if someone was going to hand me a Figma file and say, "Hey, go implement this," I would be more than content with doing front end work. But to me, design is very hard, and that's probably more a reflection on my own skill like issue, right? Like I just need to spend more time doing it. I just want free ones. Let's see, we need a left arrow and a right arrow. So we need a left arrow and a right arrow. Or actually, we probably only need a left arrow and then we can just rotate it. So let's do right. Let's do arrow right and then we'll just rotate it. Copy. Let's make a new folder here. We'll call it icons. Let's do right arrow on.view. And then we'll do templates. Just paste that. Oh, just paste that in there. We don't need the comment. I thought prettier. Huh. It's interesting. And let's go to protected layout and let's go ahead and use that. So let's go in here. You are going to be the left arrow icon. You know what? I think my formatting broke at some point. Yeah, the CSS language server is attached again. Why are you attached? Let's see. Go to edit mvim config lsp. Huh. I don't know why that's attached. That's an okay. LSP stop CSS ls.
Did we just become best friends?
Famous, thanks for the sub, appreciate it. Hello, Stephen. Go GC meets Zig's manual memory via FFI. How do you design ownership boundaries for zero copy pipelines without dangling pointers? I have no idea, man. That's woo way over my head. John Grimmers, thanks for your help anyway, Stephen. Of course, yeah, that would be my approach for responsive design on mobile. As I would start designing with mobile in mind. I think the biggest challenge will probably be the responsiveness of your typography, but that's not a challenge I wholly know how to solve. I would have to do some Googling. Good morning, Reaper's Edge. Good to see you. What IDE are you using? I'm using NeoVim. So if you type !NeoVim in the chat, you can find my configurations if you want them. Design is very hard to get down. Spent most of my time learning to be persuasive, then learning how to design. I create ugly sites. I probably create some ugly sites too, man. Design, I'm always super impressed with people who have like an aesthetic feel for things, right? I'm always very, very impressed with it. We have some good designers at work that I'm always impressed with what they come up with. Let's see. After the integration of AI and everyone started generating trash code with AI, I'm struggling with modifying a file with a minimal component of more than 1,000 lines and huge nested div. Well, that doesn't sound fun. Sounds like you're in the middle of div soup. I'm more of a ClickFunnels type guy, but when I started to do automation, I started to get cooked. Nice. Yeah, nothing wrong with ClickFunnels. You know, people have a need for those. It's a thing. I found this on the web. Okay, so that shouldn't be happening. This is the same issue. I thought I had solved this issue, but I guess I have not solved this issue. Let's see, emit. I can't stop, for whatever reason, I can't stop the null ls server. Neovim stop null ls lsp. Let's see, what about this? Null ls stop. No. So how do you stop it? Stopping the client is pretty simple and works as expected. No, it doesn't. Null ls stop. None ls stop. Oh my goodness, this is so frustrating. I thought I had fixed this. LSP, let's see, none ls stop LSP. I do not use WSL. I just use Windows. I use WSL. I do have WSL here. I do have WSL set up, but I primarily use it just to support Docker Desktop. Huh, that's so weird. You can't stop those things? Okay, so that's interesting. LSP start. So now my formatting's working, but obviously I don't have my view language server attached anymore. So that's super interesting. So is it something with, let's see, LSP start TSLS? LSP start LSP info. Okay. I should have a view TSLS. Okay, let's see if this works. See, left arrow icon. Left arrow icon. Import. Left arrow icon from components, icons. Yeah, it seems to work. Obviously, you can't really see it, but it's there. Let's do background var bg element. Okay. And then we'll do Let's see, border radius needs to be 50%. Border radius. Okay, let's go ahead and start LSP start CSS ls. Huh. I don't know why I'm having so much problems with my NeoVim config the last couple days. It's crazy. All right, that SVG is way too big. Let's see. Let's do toggle button SVG, or sorry, SVG. Let's do height. Let's do size equals 1 rim. Okay, and then we need to do some centering. So let's do display flex direction, column. Or I guess we don't need flex direction. We just need.
Did we just become best friends?
Vladimir, thank you very much for subbing. Appreciate you. Good morning, Jules. Good to see you. Good morning, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Damn, Apple keyboard autocorrect is the worst. It's the troll in the house. Well, good to see you, Jules. All right, when I finally figure it out, I'll send a copy to the Discord or something then. Nice. Sorry, I fell behind on chat here. Good morning, party people. How are we today? We're good, Justin. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. What is your take on Bun? Does it will soon bury Node.js? No, Bun's not going to bury Node.js. The amount of effort it would take to get people to migrate off Node is it's a mountain too tall to climb. I believe hosting companies will go out of business when people realize what's going on when you can use Vercel or Netlify. Yeah, I don't think so. Vercel and Netlify are, particularly Vercel, they're very expensive. I mean, they add a lot of nice functionality, but I don't think Vercel and Netlify are going to kill hosting providers. Good morning, Mike. Good to see you. This is indeed Vue. Vue is a great language with a nice syntax, but limited community. I don't know. I think the Vue community is pretty big. But yeah, it's a great framework. I mean, the single file components are really nice. I like the single file components. Why you label me as a troll? I couldn't sleep. Because some of your comments on my content are kind of trolly. I was crying. Why are you bullying me? Oh no, did I make you cry? Oh god. How is it like developing on Windows? Any major challenges or setbacks you have overtake with using PowerShell and stuff? Yeah, so Buck, I've been developing on Windows since I started learning how to code. So I originally learned how to code by learning C# in my basically the second semester of my junior year in college and the first semester of my senior year in college. I took computer programming 1 and computer programming 2, and we learned C#. And so I learned how to code on a Windows machine. And then by the time I picked up coding seriously again in 2020, I had switched from Mac OS to Windows. And so I just started coding seriously on a Windows machine, and I've been on a Windows machine ever since. And I haven't really had any problems or issues myself. Jules, I'm your boss, you're fired. Nah, fuck you, Jules. Get the fuck out of here. David Bailey, goated name. Shout out Thrawn. Oh yeah, he's got a goated name for sure. Jules, best alternative to Node? I only use Node. I mean, I think I have Bun or Dino installed. Let's see, Dino. Yeah, I think I have Dino installed. I don't think I have a Bun installed. But I pretty much exclusively use Node myself. I might experiment with Dino or Node occasionally, but I think Node's fine. But I don't think either of those I think those alternative JavaScript runtimes will obviously push Node to innovate, but none of them are going to overtake Node or make Node obsolete. That's just not going to happen. Okay, cool. So we got our little button here. We can probably also get rid of those borders. Probably don't need those anymore. Where'd it go? Oh, border. Where is it? There we go. Okay. Probably be nice to have like a little bit of a border or something to set it apart from the actual sidebar in the background. Let's see. Well, let's not worry about that. Let's just get the transition working now. So let's do let's do transition duration. Let's make it like 0.25 seconds. Clay, 11,000 subscribers, crazy as I remember 500. Yeah, I have no idea.
Say...
You said nothing. I have no idea who keeps subscribing to my channel or why, but I do appreciate the fact that they keep subscribing. It's very kind of them to do that. And I just keep showing up because I'm having a good time. I mean, the thing is I would be here doing this anyways, so I just keep showing up because it's fun to do. You know? What are you gonna do? We have width, we have z-index, and then we need transition property, I think is what it's called. And we'll transition the width and transform. Let's see, that's really interesting. I'm learning C# for game dev and making TCP servers for IoT stuff. That sounds cool, TCP servers. I've never built one of those. I have a nice WSL and NeoVim config there, but it breaks sometimes. I'm just way too used to Linux commands. And that's totally fine, man. I don't advocate for anybody changing what they're doing unless they really want to.
Did we just become best friends?
Explore something different, you know? Kaylin, I think was your name. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, I never want people to think that my choices somehow reflect what I think everybody else should do, you know? Kaylani, Kalyani, thank you very much for the sub. Sorry if I messed up your name. That's my bad. But yeah, if you like Linux, do Linux. You know what I mean? Do Linux. I'm all about it. I think the only thing everyone should for sure be doing is keep learning, whatever frame that takes. Yeah, for sure. Pursue things you're interested in and things that you're passionate about. Because if you're interested and you're passionate about it, then you'll be good at it, right? And if you're obsessed with it, you'll be good at it. And I think that that's a really important aspect to getting good at anything. And I think that's why at the beginning, when you're exploring a new domain, I think it's why it makes sense to be very broad with your exploration, so you can try to find the thing that you're crazy about, right? And then you can go deep on that thing. But eventually you find what you want to spend all your time on. And that can change over time too, right? It doesn't have to stay static. Okay. So we're going to have some sort of style to let everyone know that this is collapsed. So we're going to need some sort of state. I use Godot. I used to use Unity, but I've been moving my projects and learning game dev with Godot. Nice. Very cool. Godot's on my list of things to try. I have yet to try it yet, but it's on the list. What is it? Is it use ref? No, I think it's just ref, right? There we go.
I'd like to say something.
Can the voice say something like or and other like CR and deg also P or and O and TM and C oko? That's it.
Nice. I have no idea what that message was about, but I'm glad you got to try it. Let's see. NeoVim and Godot LSP can be a hassle to set up, though. Yeah, but it's worth it if you want to be at NeoVim. So that's nice to know that it is possible, because it sounds like you have it set up. So that's good. That's good news for me. Abdullah. By the way, is streaming your main source of income, or do you freelance or a job? No, I have a job. So if you type LinkedIn or exclamation point LinkedIn in the chat, you can go and look at my professional history. I'm a pretty open book about my career and happy to answer any questions on that front. But yeah, streaming is just something I do for fun. It gives me an excuse to connect with people like you guys and talk to y'all and make some content, and it's been a lot of fun. I've learned a ton from streaming. A lot of people in chat have kind of leveled me up over time, over the last year and a half or so, and I'm just gonna keep doing it until it isn't fun anymore, basically. But yeah, I work a day job just like everybody else, 8 to 5 job. I'm a long ways away, like orders of magnitude, like 2 or 3 orders of magnitude away from content creation being anywhere near what I make from my day job. So my AdSense is pretty pitiful, but which makes sense. I mean, I'm a 32-year-old dad in Kansas who's like not doing anything particularly interesting with coding. I'm also not doing anything with agentic coding. I'm just old school trad coder life, you know. So it makes sense why like my channel, you know, is what it is. But I'm having fun, and I enjoy making content for my channel, so I just keep doing it. Good morning, Ryan. Good to see you. Walsey, how possible is using NeoVim for Java? I'm tempted, but I might feel it might be a bit much, to be honest. I don't know, honestly, Walsey. I haven't ever written any Java in my life. I've only read it. But I would imagine if I can get NeoVim set up to work with C#, I would imagine it would be possible for NeoVim to work with Java. Now, it might be a hassle, because getting it to work with C# was kind of a hassle, but excuse me, but I would imagine it is possible. Stephen, would you ever host a Discord fishbowl session where community members can get together, talk about projects we are working on? maybe share screens, etc. Kind of just nerd out. I love your channel vibe, by the way. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that, man. The fishbowl session sounds fun. Yeah. There is a couple voice channels in the Discord, so I'm happy to organize a time for people to meet in there. Or you guys are more than welcome. Justin, you're more than welcome to post a time in Discord. You know that the Discord is really an us thing, not just a me thing, because chat was the one who originally wanted it. So if you guys ever want to just post, hey, we're gonna meet up in the Hangout channel for an hour, some random Tuesday evening or something like that, you won't get any pushback from me. Voltaire, just going to quietly slip away. Have fun. See you, Voltaire. Have a good day. Looks like I have to recover my Discord account. That sucks. That sucks. Let's see. Sidebar. Let's do classes. And then we're going to say, actually, hold on. Let's just do, we'll say const side classes equals collapsed. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, I thought you could apply classes conditionally, right? Oh, it probably needs to be computed, doesn't it? Because this is a derived piece of state. So we need to do something like computed, and then, whoops, I don't know why that did that. Computed. And then in here we can do, well, actually we can do this. Yeah, there we go. And then let's declare a function called function handle toggle button click. And then inside that click, all we'll do is we'll say, I guess we just want to invert whatever the current status of this is. So we'll say is collapse.value, like that. And then we'll come down here. We'll stick a type on here. We'll say this is type button. Like that. And we'll say on click v on click. What is it? Is it like that? No, it's not working. What have I done wrong? Okay, so that function is firing, so I did wire it up correctly. But something about the class is not... Isn't that how you bind? Wow, Windows has cool feature. I liked it live caption. I'm able to see what you are speaking without sound. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty OP. That's great for accessibility, right? I knew there was a shorter way to do this. Let's also go to the form. All right, so why is the class not working? So this should bind to that variable, which is computed. So why is it not working? The reactivity doesn't seem to be working. We have class equals aside classes is collapse takes computed. Oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing this, I think. That's the problem. Yep, that was the problem. Now it's working. Okay, so now we're just going to style the button and the sidebar based on whether it's collapsed or not. So we're going to go here to, I guess we'll do aside dot collapsed. That. And then when we're collapsed, we'll make the background a bright red. Sent you a LinkedIn request? Yeah, for sure, man. Always happy to connect with people on LinkedIn. Vue looks so strange when you have been working exclusively with Next.js for the last 5 years. Yeah, the single file components I think do look odd. They look different compared to a lot of other approaches. But I've come to really enjoy the fact that everything is kind of co-located. Which I know you can sort of kind of accomplish the same thing with React because you can do CSS and JavaScript. You know, you can do your styling there. But it doesn't feel as natural. I kind of like the fact that I still can write TypeScript here. I write HTML markup here. I write my CSS here. But React's good. The thing is, like, it's not that I use Vue because I don't like React. It's just a preference thing, right? So I think React is fine. I think Vue's fine. I think people should use whatever floats their boat, you know? All right. So how do I want this to actually look when we collapse it? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to recalc the width. So right now we are doing that, but this actually needs to become a calculation, I think. So this needs to be var button size divided by 2. I think. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. And then we just need to now rotate the button so that it doesn't always look like it's pointing out. So let's do, what is it? Let's do, I can never figure out how I want to organize this. Let's do toggle button up here. And then let's do same thing here. But we need a button. Specifically, we want the toggle button. Like that. And then the toggle button needs to rotate. So we'll do transform. And we will rotate 180 degrees. Like that. Let's see, this does not need width. I think this just needs transform. Hey, there we go. Let's go. I like that. Now, obviously, we're going to have a bunch of stuff to figure out with the content inside the sidebar collapsing properly, but that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's see, is there anything else we want to do here? I imagine we'll have some other styles we have to change once we start putting stuff inside. But I think that'll be fine for now. I don't really think this should live in our sidebar per se, or inside our layout. I think this should probably be extracted to a component. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead and pull that into a sidebar. I don't know, what do you call this? How about nav sidebar? View. That's the one thing about single file components and views. They always have to be 2 words, and that bothers me sometimes. Right, no, I never said view is bad. I just said it looks strange because it's so different than what I'm... Oh, yeah, for sure. I wasn't taking it as you saying view is bad. That's not how I meant it. But I do agree, it does look weird if you're coming from something else. All right, so how do we extract this? So let's go public layout. We need all of this. Let's do that. Let's do template. This is where we're going to paste our stuff. Let's do style, scoped. Let's bounce back to the protected layout. Let's extract all of this. Then let's go over to the protected layout. Let's get the styles from here on down. Looks good. Now let's get rid of this guy. Let's rename this to, instead of wrapper, let's just call this layout. I don't know, wrapper seems too generic. Seems a lazy name. And then we'll put the sidebar here. Side, nav, sidebar. And we'll do import nav sidebar. Like that. And everything hopefully should still look the same. Okay, the one thing I want to change though is you can't really tell. Let's put a border back around. You can't really tell, but right now the sidebar pushes the main content and makes it smaller. So if we go back here, right, you can see, right? Now what I want to do is I actually want the sidebar to act like a drawer, I think. Whenever we're below a certain width, I actually want this to be like a drawer. So what is that width we want to set? Let's see. So let's come over here. And first thing, hold on, we got to put a, we need to put a position. We need to do a position relative here, I think. And then we need to come back over to the sidebar. And we need to add a media query that says something like, let's see, at media. How do you write a media query? It's at media, right? At media screen. And then you say max width. Let's say it's, I think there's like a standard pixel size that everybody uses for small screens, right? Standard small screen pixel size. It's like 700 or something. There we go. 768. Okay, what's 768 divided by 16? 48 pixels, 48 rem. 48 rem. And then we'll say, okay, great. In this case, we want the aside. We want the aside to be position absolute. And we want a right of 0. Alright, let's see. What did I mess up here? So the sidebar's still there. Okay. What did I mess up here? So why? So it's for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is that's happening. I have to do some Googling. Good morning, crew. Gun Eyes. Hey, Steven. Long time ago, I was learning front-end React. next Angular, but abandoned it, came back to .NET Blazor, ASP MVC, so I'm stuck in legacy. I don't think that's necessarily legacy though, man. I think there's nothing wrong with Blazor, and ASP.NET is definitely still a viable framework for building web apps. So I mean, I think it feels legacy because all the cool kids use JavaScript on the front end, but I don't think it necessarily is legacy. Um,
Did
let's
we
see.
just become best friends?
Sorry, I missed that sub. James, thank you very much for the sub over on YouTube. Appreciate you. Very kind of you. So yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily worth it to come back to JavaScript front end, but if you're interested, right, it sure is a lot of fun to work with sometimes. Crew, you still in Sol.js? I started bulldozing through Svelte for work. Very cool. I would still like to at some point try Svelte. We ended up not using Solid.js. We ended up just sticking with Vue. Justin, also, are you in Discord? I'm hiring C# devs. Yeah, I'm in Discord for sure. Or are you talking to somebody else, Justin? You might not be talking to me. Gunheist, that was the answer I was looking for. Thanks, Steven. You're cool like always. Well, I appreciate that. I don't know if I'm cool. My kids would probably challenge that as a statement, but I just try to give my opinions. I don't know if my opinions are good, but I'm always happy to share them. Yes, you sent me links, Justin. You did. I got your links. See you, Buck. Have a good day. Sorry I missed your message when you actually left, but see you, man. Thanks for sticking around. I gotta figure out why. The weird thing is like, oh, there's no height. That's why. There's no height on it. Because I took it out of the document flow. So we actually need to put a height on this, explicit height. So this should always be 100%. There we go. So right now, it acts as a drawer. So you can kind of see it sliding out over the top of main. But if we go big, you'll see that blue border eventually starts to hug the sidebar. Yeah. So there, now it's like a drawer. Now it hugs. Probably want to add like a box shadow too on the edge of the sidebar, so it kind of looks like it's got a little bit of depth to it. That would probably be good. Add a little bit of a box shadow. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think it would also be interesting to maybe force it closed. Like if you have it open and you make your screen too small, I think it would be interesting to force it closed maybe. I don't know. I always hate doing that to users. I always get annoyed when websites like take an action on my behalf. Looks like it's a little cut off too, doesn't it? On the right edge. It's a little cut off. Let's add a little bit of, let's see, where do I set that? Button size. Well, I think it's only looks cut off when it's got the focus on it. Yeah, it's just the focus that gets cut off. So I guess we could add like a pixel on either side. So we could do like do something like 2 plus. Okay. That's fine. What actually is? I'm gonna try to keep the units in rem here. 16 divided by 2 is what? Or sorry, 2 divided by 16. 0.125. Okay. All right, so enough assessing over the sidebar. So now we have the sidebar. That's cool. Great. We don't have any content in it. That's fine. We have a logout button over here, but you can't see it. So let's change that real quick. Let's see, let's go to the home view. This type button. Do that click. Last out. You know what though? I'm kind of regretting some choices on the styling aspect, because I think I really should probably just override, like I probably should like we have our resets here, right? And so what we should probably do is in main, these different colors, we should just apply them by default and then override them where necessary. So like the surface, yeah, I don't know. I might refactor this, I guess is all I'm gonna say. So let's do log out button, background equals var bg surface, or no, bg element, and then we'll do class equals log out button, like that. Invalid property value. Oh, why do I mess up basic syntax sometimes? Okay, that looks horrible. Let's do padding. Let's do 0.25 rim, 0.5 rim, border radius. We can do 0.25 rim. Looks better. This work? Yep. Cool. So what do we want to appear here? We definitely don't want view to appear here. And I also don't think we want the logout button to be here. We probably want the logout button to be over here somewhere in the sidebar, honestly. But what we do want is we want the ability to add an account, is what we want next. So if we're on this home view, and let's say I just throw a new div in here, and have a button that's like type button should this actually be a navigation link, maybe? This is where we have to start thinking about the design of all this. Yeah, I am loading. I'm buffering. You're cool because you're the same age, so I won't challenge anything from you. Us boomers must stick together. Do you mean we're boomers in the sense that we're old to be on YouTube, or do you mean you're like legitimately a boomer? Because I'm not a boomer. I'm like, I think I'm a millennial. I think based on the generations. Ryan, I learned something new yesterday. Lisp was the first language to support recursion. Fortran, which was the one I always thought was the first, added support in significantly later versions. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I did not know that. All right, I think it's time for more coffee. We're boomers to our kids. That's funny. Yeah, I guess being a boomer is kind of a relative thing, huh? It's funny. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some coffee. If you're leaving because I'm leaving, bye. Have a nice day. If you're hanging around, then I'll see you when I get back. Alright, I'm back. Alright, let's see if we can get the add account functionality working. So let's just add another button here. And for now, let's just call it I guess add account. We're not add account. We want it to be.
Kelsey says, "What a slacker."
Good morning, honey. I'm trying not to slack. I'm trying to be diligent. I promise. Let's see. At click is going to be handle add institution click. And then let's just do class equals add institution button. All right, so this is where we have to bring in the SDK from Plaid. Handle add institution click. Talk to Plaid. I can never spell this word institution. I spell it wrong half of the time I spell it. There we go. So how do we install? Let's see, Plaid link SDK JavaScript. Okay, this is a minimal app that implements Plaid using a very basic HTML vanilla JS. Okay. So I think I can't follow. So I have to load it from a CD and interesting. Okay. So let's look and see. Hey man, I love your content. Oh, thanks, DD Pro. That's really nice of you to stop by and say, man. I don't know if it's good, but it is my content, so thank you very much for saying that. I feel like it's kind of boring content in the age of AI, but it's what I'm having fun making and having fun doing, so it's nice to hear somebody else is enjoying it. Plaid view link. So you use a community-maintained library that provides Vue-specific components and composable, as Plaid does not offer an official Vue SDK. Let's see, Vue component for integrating with Plaid link. This is an unofficial Vue fork based on the official React version. Okay. So I guess we could try to use this. So use Plaid link token, generated link token on success. Available link configuration options. Callback. Okay, we can use this. This looks pretty nice. So let's do npm. On to cd physical.web. I wonder how.
Kelsey says not all content needs to be flashy and loud. We still need some slow, cozy content too.
Thanks, honey. I've got the slow cozy content. For sure. To address issues that do not require attention, so npm audit fix. Why do I have so many vulnerabilities in this Vue project? This is like a brand new Vue project.
Did we just become best friends?
Alex, thank you very much for the sub, man. I appreciate that. I'm not thinking that this is going to be fixable currently. No fix available. Mini match has a redos via repeated wildcards with non-match. AGV has redos using data option. Will install ESLint 10.0. Depends on vulnerable. npm audit fix -- force. If I remember correctly, you have a VPS, right? I do. I have a couple of them. Okay, that made it worse. Classic JavaScript world. npm audit fix. More vulns. Oh my goodness. From which provider is it? So the VPS that's hosted in somebody's cloud is in Oracle's cloud. And then I have two VPSs that are hosted here in my house. And all three work great. They pretty much all have the same setup. They're Ubuntu servers. They have Nginx on them for proxies, for reverse proxying. Mostly I run Docker containers on all of them. Almost everything that's running on them is running in a container. Why is this taking so long? What have I done? Now I have 20 vulnerabilities. What is happening? No! Oh my goodness. This is awful. Oh my gosh, dude. So if I just keep running this command, what happens? Is it just gonna keep introducing new vulnerabilities? Okay, it went down there. I honestly don't know. I'm guessing it's because there's not an available patch for some of these dependents. No. Okay, I'm just not gonna worry about it right now. We can figure it out later. Vulnerabilities. Who cares about those? In a financial app? Well, dude. All right. So what did he say here? So let's see. We're gonna use open ready. I wonder what this is. Why? Oh, @click calls open. Okay. So let's do const plaid, or sorry, const open and ready equals use plaid link. Now what's interesting is that, excuse me, I guess what's interesting is that it wants a link, right? Yeah, he wants a token. But we have to get this by calling something else. Let's ask Gemini. Let's see, I'm building a view application. I have a composable that needs a variable that will be set in the state of my application. I have a, let's see, I'm building a view application. I have a composable that has a dependency on something, on a value that won't be available until someone clicks a button. Is it safe to use that composable in the button's callback? I honestly don't know the answer to this. See, if you cannot use view composables for some reason, you can use the plaid link component. I don't really want to do this. The thing I'm trying to avoid is I'm trying to avoid doing this in 2 separate steps. So I'm trying to avoid having the user to click a button to generate a link token and then also click another button. You know what I mean? I'm trying to have it happen in a single click. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, that should work. So let's do const link token equals ref string there we go. And then you're saying pass this here. Sorry, token. And you're saying link token dot value. Why is this complaining? Oh. On success, just go ahead and do a console log. Good morning, Uncle Pee-wee. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Object literable may only specify known properties and token does not exist in type plaid link option. Okay, so what is the name of it? Okay, he literally has token here, so I don't understand. Is this, are we out of, let's see. Token, string, or null? I'm telling you, token exists there, my friend. Dude, that's, I don't understand. Why are you upset?
Did we just become best friends?
Tell them it's on 6-7. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Christian Nunez, what are your thoughts on Aspire? Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm actually using it right now. Yeah, I love Aspire. I think it's honestly has the chance to kind of take over a lot of local dev orchestration because it can basically work with any language and any tech stack. It's very composable, very extensible. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. And they just keep adding more and more features to it, which is fantastic. So I'm a believer. I'm bought in. I would like to push for more people to adopt it. I think it's lovely. I think the hard part will be, I think the hardest part they're going to fight with adoption of it is trying to get other communities to embrace it outside of .NET. That's going to be the biggest struggle. And they're going to have to find a way to build champions in the different communities, in the JavaScript ecosystem, in the Go ecosystem, Python ecosystem. They're going to have to find a way to have a champion that's already exist in those languages communities be a champion for it. Because I think if you have people from Microsoft going into those communities and trying to push this tool chain, I think most people will just kind of will have a instinctual reaction to like, oh no, Microsoft bad, which is unfortunate because it's a really, really cool set of tools and people are missing out if they're not at least giving it a try, I have no idea why this won't take. Is it because it needs to be a ref? Is that why? We could do Plaid options like this, and we could do Plaid link options like this. Huh. That's interesting. Maybe his documentation just needs to be updated. All right, so we got use Plaid. Okay, so then we'll just have to set the token. That's all we need to do here. So then in the handle log, let's see, we'll make this disabled. Oh. And then here, what we need to do is we need to make a request to create the token. So we need to make a request to create the link token. And then we need to populate, we need to set the link token on the Plaid options. We need to call open. Okay. So we're going to need a new composable. We're also going to need a new service. So let's do institution service.ts. And let's scaffold it in much the same way this is here. Okay, we're going to need institution service, factory. JavaScript in bugging? What? I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. So institution service factory. I don't know if I like this pattern anymore, but it's the pattern I currently have, and until I sit down and think about refactoring it, I'm not gonna change it. CI institution service. Okay. So now we need a concrete implementation of this. So let's come down, say export class, institution service, like that. Okay. And then this will have a constructor. Which takes an iClient and sets client. Yeah, private read-only client, and then we have some endpoints. Just copy this. There's probably also a base service class. That we could extract. So this is going to be institutions, and then this is, I think, a link is what I called this. Institutions, link, endpoint. Yeah. That looks good. And so we will expose a method on here called public I guess we'll call it something like create link token. Seems reasonable. Create link token. And it returns a link token response. So async. All right. Just has a link token field on it. All right, I'll say const response equals await. Oh no, Twitch disconnected. No, Twitch, come back. Come back. Oh no. I don't know why that happened. And we're back. Sorry, Twitch. I disconnected from you for a little bit. Let's see. Await client dot post. And I think the post in this case just requires post with body, but we don't need a body. I don't think we need a body. Yeah, we don't need a body. So we just say get singular default, needs to be authorized. Pretty basic. Hey, what's up, Shirot? Hi, how are you doing? I'm doing good, yeah. Yeah, no complaints, man. Life is life, and you know, I've got nothing to complain about. There are people with far worse issues than me. You know what I mean? Doing a lot of copy pasta, and I know it's going to get me in trouble, but I don't care. Let's see, config, undefined, body is going to be omitted. Wait, is that right? Where's the refresh?
Kelsey says, wow, what a risk taker.
I know, right? All this copy pasting. Yeah, it's very risky business. Let's see. I'll do. We actually don't even need this specific error. We just need to know, hey, you failed to create link token.
Kelsey says, watch out. Be careful there.
Oh, honeys. Failed to create link token. Do you like playing games, like PvP games? Yeah, I like playing games. My favorite kind of game is just basic FPS shooter games. That's kind of what I enjoy playing the most. But I'm usually willing to try most anything. I also really like an RPG. Like, I was formed by Halo 3 and Skyrim, right? Like those are like pivotal games in my video gaming career. Played a lot of Call of Duty. Played quite a bit of Fortnite. My kids got pretty into Fortnite, so I played quite a bit of that. We played Arc Raiders. Yeah, my son's been playing quite a bit of Arc Raiders, and so I bought the game too, and we've had fun. I don't. The problem with Arc Raiders is like after like 2 or 3 games, I get kind of bored, and I'm super risk adverse, so I never really engage in many battles or fights. I just go in, loot, and then get out, so I don't lose anything. But then after a couple games, I kind of get bored with that. Okay, I think that's all we need now. Now let's go add this to let's add a composable for this. We'll say use institution service.ts. We're gonna copy this guy because it's pretty much the same pattern. Client factory, yes. This is gonna be institution.
Kelsey says Stephen doesn't know how to be a chaos goblin, so he doesn't like those games.
Yeah, I don't care for I don't care for like loading in and you've done all the work to collect all the shit and then you die and then you feel like you wasted all your time. And I hate feeling like I wasted time. Hate it. Hate it. There's friendly lobbies actually. Yeah, so that's what my brother-in-law was telling me. My brother-in-law was telling me that like, and I don't know if this is true. This is just what he was saying, so I took him at his word. But he was saying that like the game pays attention to how aggressive you are, and so like the more friendly you are, you'll get put in friendlier lobbies, and the more like the more fights you engage in, you'll get put in lobbies where there's more PvP. I don't know if that's true, but that's what he was telling me. And I don't think I've played enough to really know if that pattern bears out. But I've seen lots of clips on TikTok of like people like, hey, friendly, don't shoot me. But at the same time, I've seen lots of clips where people will act friendly, and then you get to like the part where you exfil, and then they turn on you, which I'm like by nature a very untrusting person. Like I'm skeptical of almost every human being I've ever met. There's very few people who I will let into my inner circle. So the idea of trusting somebody in a video game is very, very foreign to me. Okay, and then let's go ahead and update the dependencies in our app.v or in our main. So we'll say app.provide institution. Then we'll go back over here. Why are you complaining? Oh, that seems like a valid complaint. And now let's go back to our component here. And let's see, we need const institution service equals use institution. I wonder why my imports aren't. Change spelling? No. Whoops, turn on caps lock. Have you tried using Nest.js? I think it's a pretty good backend framework. I haven't tried using Nest.js. The only Node or like JavaScript based backend frameworks that I've tried have been obviously Express. I feel like everybody's tried Express at this point. Koa, which is, I guess, made by the same people who made Express, but it's like, this is what we would do if it was modern days. And then I've also tried Hano. And of all those three, I think in 2026, if you had to pick one, I would pick Hano, in my opinion. That it's like, for me, building backend APIs, it's like .NET is like best experience, and then right after it is Hano. But I haven't tried Nest, so I guess I should reserve my opinion. Drecker, but they kind of betray you sometimes. See, yes, they do. That's that. I knew I knew I couldn't be the only person that has trust issues. Let's see. User store.
Kelsey says, you know, sometimes I watch this stream and I am like, I know some of these words, but most of the time I don't know any of these words.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm glad you're still here, though. Thanks for hanging out. I think there's other people who hang out around my stream that aren't really into the coding or technology side of things. And that's totally valid. You can just hang out and we can talk about other things. All right, so we got to get the link token. So we'll say const link token equals await institution service dot create link token like this. That's going to complain. Then we're going to say plaid.
Kelsey says, what are you trying to say? I am so techie.
You are. You're right. You are. What am I saying? What am I saying? Link token dot value dot map e dot message dot join. Okay, and then if it doesn't fail, now we can do plaid options dot value dot link dot token equals link token dot val dot link token. That doesn't make sense. This should be link token response, or no, link token result. And then hopefully, I don't really know how this is going to work because I don't honestly know if, like, if I call open here, I don't actually know if that will work. But we can try it. All right. Let's see if I've wired things up. All right, so if we click add institution, hold on, let me open up the browser tools. We should see a network request get made. Where's the network requests? Add institution. Okay, looks like that worked. We got our response. So we did get a link token. Yeah. But it doesn't look like It doesn't look like anything happened. I'm not sure if I should be seeing something on the screen. It didn't throw an error. Huh. Okay, so let's just, for the sake of troubleshooting, let's separate these into separate calls. Let's just do put a different button here. Let's see, disable till ready. Yes. This will be called. This will just be open. That's fine. We can duplicate that class for now. Open. Okay. All right, let's see what happens. So we do add institution. Add institution. That was successful. We click open. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Oh, looks like there's an error property. So let's see if we can get the error here. Turns an error. How do you? Is it double brackets? Yeah. Okay. So add institution. That was successful. Huh. I'm so confused. Ad-free Steven is great. Oh, nice. Very cool. Well, I'm glad you're not getting hit with a bunch of ads. Who's Kelsey? Yeah, that's my wife. Sorry, Drucker. Yeah, that's my wife. That's why she has text to speech. That's why she can do text to speech whenever she wants. She's special. Huh. I guess let's look and see what open should do. So what does open do?
Kelsey says, you think so?
I do think you're special, honey. Let's see, next, plaid.create. So this says if plaid.value, plaid.open. So it looks like so use script tag. So he basically loads. I'm guessing this is from the Where are you? Yeah, so that's the CDN link, okay. And then he just texts to see if that plaid object has been added to the window. Now the question is, where does this plaid.value come into play? This is a ref, which takes type plaid factory. And where does that get set? Create plaid. Oh, right here. So he calls create plaid, passes in the options that you passed in, and the creator. iframe loaded. Options.value.onload. Window.plaid.create. So that's the creator function, I think, that he's passing in. And this is a cleanup function he returns. So I wonder, is this thing still disabled? I wonder. I guess that's probably the first thing I should look at. Is the button disabled? Let me see. So it is disabled. But I think I should have, let's see, router view, home, plaid options. There is a sandbox token. But this says ready is false. Okay. So ready is false. Why is ready false? Because of one of these. I wonder. Let's see if we inspect this. And we do. Oh, there's failed to find script. Link initialize.js. The plaid link initialize script was embedded more than once. This is an unsupported configuration and may lead to unpredictable behavior. Please ensure plaid link is embedded only once per page. Okay. Open. Oh, we need to remember the sidebar. We need to persist the sidebar state from like local storage or something. Let's see, add institution. That should give us our state. Man, the Vue dev tools are nice, aren't they? Good job. Okay, and then I'm gonna do a little console log right here. Window.plaid. Okay, so the plaid is there. So you can see we loaded the window object, which is good. But the question is, error is null, fault ready is false. So the question is, why isn't this thing initializing itself, right? That's the crux of the issue. Okay, I'm just going to try something for the sake of trying it. Let's remove the disabled property. Let's assume that everything is working correctly. Okay, let's get our link. Yeah, and then let's try to open. So it's not disabled, but it's not working. It's not working, and I don't know why. Huh. It's interesting that it doesn't throw. It just kind of like silently fails, which is the worst kind of failure. Yeah, it should like this right here. This is like the worst kind of failure. It should just throw. All right, I'm gonna go monkey around with the. Let's see, node modules. Where are we? JCSS dist. Where are we? That's CJS. JS. I don't know which one's being loaded. Log. I am here. You're not supposed to do that. Okay, so you're not the one being loaded, I guess? Or maybe I need to restart the server. Let me see. Restart. Okay, maybe that wasn't the right file to edit. Oh gosh. It's one of these JavaScript files. I think I just borked NeoVim trying to format it. I am here. Huh. Neither of those seem to be showing up. Okay, I'm stumped. I'm officially stuck. So, when I'm stuck like this, my only real path forward is to try to implement what this library provides me myself and see if I can't figure out why his implementation doesn't work for me and try to get my implementation to work. So that's unfortunate. Let's do a quick Google search real quick. Hey Caleb, good to see you, man. Where's the problem? Late to the party. So I've got this issue where I'm trying to use the Plaid JavaScript SDK or their web SDK via a library from somebody else. So there's a library out here called, what is it called? View Plaid Link is the name of the library. And basically all they've done is they've kind of made the existing Plaid web SDK nice to work with in a Vue application. But for whatever reason, when I try to use it, where are we? We're in the home view. Whenever I try to use it, it's not working. So the way this works is that it exposes a composable, which I'm not sure, Caleb, how much you know about Vue or how familiar you are with Vue, but they expose this composable, which composables are just a way to use the reactivity system, basically have a function that leverages the reactivity system outside of a component. And you have so this use Plaid link takes some options, which we've provided here, and then it hands back some stuff. Most importantly, it hands back this open function, which is what you're supposed to call to like initialize all the link stuff. And for whatever reason, whenever I call that method, it doesn't do anything. It acts like it's not being called, which is kind of weird, in my opinion. So that's the problem. So we're trying to go through. So we got to go through and dissect why that's happening. And I think the best approach for doing that might be to just implement my own composable that replicates what that other library is doing. Unfortunately. Almost feel like I just need to implement like a plaid service. I wonder if let's see if the script tag's even being loaded. Kind of curious if that's happening. Nope. No, doesn't look like it. Let's see. View load file from CDN dynamically. CPU use script tag. So load script, resolve with element. Check if document actually exists. Local variable defining if script tag should be appended. They look for a script tag with that particular source. They can't find it, they create one. Huh. Okay, so there's nothing fancy happening there. So I don't understand why it's not working. Doesn't make sense. Hey, what's up, Mohammed? Finally, someone Googling for like the good old days. Good to see you, Mohammed. Yeah, it's like 2020 over here. We're just we're trying to sort through problems ourselves and trying to understand where I've gone wrong and having a kick-ass time doing it. Mirzas. Sorry, I can't ever. I'm sorry if I butcher your name, man. I'm really sorry. I'm a final year CS student. Just found out about your channel. I feel like I know absolutely nothing after seeing this. Yeah, I don't know anything either. So I'm just making my way the best I can. So don't feel bad, and don't compare yourself to me for sure. We're both on different journeys, but glad you're here. Glad to have you. I'm kind of stumped. I don't don't know. So I think I'm gonna pull out that library and just implement this myself. But it's 7 o'clock, so I don't have time to actually implement it myself. Don't worry about my name. No, I mean I should be able to figure out how to say your name, man. Like it's not a your name problem. It's a Stephen Freeborn can't. Stephen Freeborn's an American and can't be bothered to learn another language problem. Um, my wife and I were talking about that the other day. We were like, it's so crazy that almost everyone else in the world is forced to learn like multiple languages, and us English speakers are spoiled because we don't have to learn multiple languages. I'll just have here voice alias.
Mirza.
There you go. That makes sense. I don't know if that's correct, but that's much better than what I was trying to say. Mirza. Well, glad to have you here, Mirza. I hope you're enjoying your CS degree. And I bet you're super excited to be done with that. I remember when I was a senior in college. God, I could not wait for graduation to come. It almost felt like time slowed down to a standstill. But it eventually ends.
Did we just become best friends?
Ibrahim, thanks for the sub. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. All right, chat. I've just been staring at this code for the last 10 minutes without actually doing anything productive. So let's figure out what we want to do. What's our plan of attack? Do we keep screwing around with this library, or or do we try to do something different? I guess I am curious. What happens if Rampa Brain Freeze attack everything at once? That sounds like a good plan of attack. Let's see what happens when I do this. Let's do token string, and then let's do token dot value that. Let's see what happens with this setup, because this is how that library's documentation shows it working, but I don't think it actually works that way. Cannot read properties of undefined reading token. So this says e.value.token, e.value.received redirect URI. So what is e in that context? E is options. So it does expect a ref, because you can see how they're accessing it. So it does expect a ref. Oh, you know what? Let's debug this. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. Let's just set a breakpoint in here. And let's see if that breakpoint gets hit. Yeah? We'll just debug this in the browser. Okay. And then if we do open. See, I should have thought of this sooner. Debugger for the win. Let's see, r.value is what? Closure r.value. Where are you? Value? It's null. Okay, where?
Did we just become best friends?
Crow Ninja? Croco Ninja? I think is how you say your name. Thanks for the sub. Or thanks for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Yay and Tong. How many programming languages do you know? So I know C#, TypeScript, CSS, HTML. I don't know if people count those, but TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, C#, Python, Go, and Rust. All right, is what I know. Okay, let's continue. Let's go ahead and add institution, which should be successful, which it was. Let's go back to the debugger. Let's open again. R.value is still null. Still null. So the question is, okay, let's do some other stuff real quick. So I don't see a link. I don't see a link initializer tag here. So I guess the question is, I think I can pass an on load. Yeah. And let's do console.log loaded. See if that works. Nope. So when does onloaded get called? What? What the hell? Where have I gone? Use link add. Go is cool. I'm learning it too. Yeah, I like Go. I had a lot of fun learning Go. That's what I actually used. I used Advent of Code, or I used Go to solve Advent of Code this year, or this past year. It was a lot of fun. Let's see, composable. This doesn't, I mean, I guess I could just try to do it this way and see if it works. This doesn't look like it's gonna work. let's see, log on event callbacks from link. Log on exit. Yeah, I guess I could do that too. I could log on exit. Maybe there's something happening there. On exit. I just don't even think, for whatever reason, I don't even think the plaid thing is initializing itself. And I don't know why. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's not something we're going to be able to figure out today, but I need to figure this out. Good to see you, Dorsick. I've been good. Yeah, what about you? Pretty sure my Mac just shit the bed for work. Oh, that sucks, dude. But maybe that's exciting because it means you'll get a new Mac. Oh, I have an idea. Let's see if Gemini can help me. I know I need to go get ready for work, but it's really hard for me to put something down when I can't figure it out. Oh, whoops. I guess I gotta wait till the import completes. Okay. I'm using this library in my own Vue app. Here's the code I have. In home view.view. I don't understand why the open function isn't doing anything. It is almost like the use plaid link composable is not initializing. Any thoughts? Let's see, source, repositories. Web source components. Let's see what Gemini has to say. I'm guessing it's not going to be able to figure this out. I've been also good. I'm going to buy a new laptop probably. A ThinkPad T480 i7 8th gen, 16 gigabytes. I'll upgrade the SSD. It's the best laptop. Nice, yeah. I had a ThinkPad laptop at the very first corporate job I ever had. They gave me a ThinkPad. It was a nice laptop. My boss at that job, he swore by him. Like, he was obsessed with the little like nub cursor thing in the middle of the keyboard. Hello, brother. I just need small guidance. I want to start learning C language. Currently, I don't know any languages. How should I start learning? I'm confused because there are lots of resources. So I've never written C before myself. I think if I was to try and go and learn C, though, the resource I would use is on YouTube. There's a course from boot.dev taught by TJ DeVries. I think, let's see, C course. This is probably what I would follow if it was me. I don't currently have any intention of learning C myself, but I trust TJ. I think TJ seems like a very decent human being. And so if it was me, I would try to go learn from him. There's probably lots of other good resources out there to learn it, but that's where I would start at the very least. let's see. When looking at the source code for the composable, the initialization logic is wrapped in a view watch function that observes the configuration options. Because use plaid link watches the options reference directly without using deep true, view only triggers the watcher if the entire object reference changes. Ah, okay. You are mutating a single property on the existing object. Since the object reference remains the same, the watcher inside views plaid link never reruns. Use a computed property. Okay. Okay. Yep. All right, let's try that. Maybe maybe Gemini saved the day. Let's if it's right, we should be able to do this. If it's right, we should be able to do something like this. Plaid option stop value. And we should be able to do token. Could this be another win for AI? Let's see. Let's see, add institution. We should have got a link token back. Oh, yep, it worked. It worked. Let's go. Fuck yeah. Let's see, continue without phone number. Yeah, continue without phone number. Is there a test bank I can use? Let's see. Link test plaid. Yo, baller. Gemini for the win. Although I would like them to update their logic here so that it works for deeply nested mutations. I would like them to set deep on the watch. Just you know, just saying. It's scary how good AI has become. No, it's not. I don't know if it's scary. I think it's super helpful because, like, it's great that, like, I could give it all that context, right? And it could get to the bottom of the issue, right? Better than I could, which is awesome. I think it's what a wonderful tool to have in the tool belt. Let's see. Link. They should have like a test. Let's see. Plaid link test web with bank. Let's see. Blink, yep. Sandbox environment. Developers can simulate various using predefined test credentials. Yeah, how do I use... Let's see. Initialize link. Yep. Select institution or another test institution. User good, pass good. Okay, so we want to select first platypus bank. First platypus bank. I guess just this. And we'll say, what was the credentials? User good, pass good. User good, pass good. Nice. It's working. All right, and then continue. Success. Your account has been successfully cool. Okay, and then just go ahead and finish without saving. And then you can see it ran the callback, the success callback. So now what I need to do is we need to be able to go through that full flow. And then once we hit the success function, that's when we'll make another call to my backend to exchange the public token that we got here for an access token on the back end. Jay Hightower, you should be able to use any of those accounts if you are in sandbox environment. Oh, really? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm in sandbox environment. Yeah. Okay, good to know. Have you implemented Plaid before, Jay Hightower? Do you have prior experience with this? Because that would be awesome to have somebody hanging out here who knows what the fuck they're doing. Sweet. Okay. Cool. So let's I guess let's try to programmatically call it now instead of having a separate button. So let's do this. I don't know if this will work since it's all happening under the same render or same click. I don't know if this will work. Yeah, it doesn't look like that worked. Cannot go back. Current pane does not exist. Yeah. Okay. So that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to figure a way out how to... let's see. View, wait for next tick. There should be a way to do that. Let's see. Next tick. See if that works. So do await, next tick. See if that works. So we create the link token. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, cool. Awesome. J Hightower, I have. Nice. Okay, cool. Well, if you're ever around and you see me going the wrong way, just say, "Hey, you're going the wrong way," because I would appreciate all the advice I can get. This is the first time I've ever done anything with Plaid, so I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. It sucks that I wasted 30 minutes on that stupid reactivity issue, but I'm glad we figured it out. All right, chat. Brett Kruski, I have no experience. Good one. All right, well, it's 7:30. I actually stayed about half hour later than I planned on, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I apologize if my streams are not what you would like to see in this new AI world, but what you can expect from me here is cozy coding content. That is, it's like we're coding and it's 2020 all over again. So, if that's your jam, come hang out. If not, no worries. Let's see. Did I miss anybody's chat? Knoxville, don't ever disrespect AI again. I would never dare disrespect AI. The thing is I have a very subtle opinion on AI. It's a subtle opinion and it gets lost, I think. My opinion on AI is that it's incredibly useful and incredibly capable, but I don't enjoy using it to code. I like to write code by hand. I like to use AI to help me, but I don't want to do agentic development. I don't enjoy it. It's not fun. So I never want you guys to think that I think people shouldn't use AI or that you can't use AI. I just don't think AI is going to help me become a better programmer by writing the code for me. And it makes it far less fun to actually code. But it is very helpful, as we learned today. When did you start coding, my bro? I started seriously coding like 5 years ago. But the first time I ever coded was in college. I took 2 courses that were both taught in C#. That was a lot of fun. I took basically computer programming 1 and computer programming 2 as electives just to fill out my schedule. I was a biochemistry major, not a CS major. But it was a lot of fun. And then I didn't really return to programming or coding until, let's see, I graduated college in 2015, and then I didn't start coding again seriously until 2020, 2021, something like that. So there was a little bit of a gap there. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go upstairs and get some more coffee, see my family, get them off to school, get myself ready for work. I hope you guys have a great, wonderful Thursday. I hope you had fun hanging out with me this morning. I appreciate you guys chilling. You guys make the stream go burr, so thank you very much. Brett, I trash talk AI, but when I get the answer, I waste some tokens to say thank you. Me and you, we're on the same wavelength. All right, guys. Well, have a wonderful Thursday. It's already Friday for you. Have a wonderful Friday. And if you're going to come back tomorrow morning, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Otherwise, I'll talk to y'all later. All right. Bye, Brett. Bye, Jay. Bye, Mirza. Bye, Knoxville. Bye, Bye, Norsik. See you, Blackfire, if you're still here. Bye, Uncle Pee-wee. Bye, Caleb. Rampla, if you're here. See ya. Bye, Mohammed. All right. I'm out of here, chat. Bye. Bye. See you guys. Have a great day. Appreciate y'all.